volunteers solved the water supply problem in Ormoc village after Typhoon Phanfone. A young man in Taiwan receives recognition for his care for his 90-year-old grandfather. Welcome to the headlines. I'm Maggie Tai. Thank you for joining us. In Philippines, Ormoc village, which was struck by Typhoon Haiyan 6 years ago, was flooded due to Typhoon Phanfone. After the flood water receded, the water supply in the village was cut off. City volunteers have asked a fire truck to come to provide clean water for the villagers.
Typhoon Phanfone has also struck Ormoc, and therefore on Christmas Day, Guerrilla Village was also flooded. Many residents spent the day dealing with dirty water and mud.
Knowing the typhoon is coming, I did not leave home because I believe the house Tzu Chi built for us is very sturdy. This time, my house was not damaged. Only the floor get wet. After cleaning, we can return to normal life.
After Christmas, the floodwater receded. Ormoc villagers started to clean up their homes. City volunteers asked a fire truck to come to provide clean water. This way, the villagers do not need to worry about water usage.
We are grateful to Master Zheng Yan and Tzu Chi volunteers for helping us. They never give up on us in the aftermath of the disasters.
Since Typhoon Haiyan struck, Ormoc villagers have learned to help each other. On the land where many disasters struck, people help each other. With the strength of love, people can get back on their feet as soon as possible.
People living in Masingo, southeastern Zimbabwe, often suffer from severe drought. City volunteers recently started a distribution mission at the local area. Due to the bumpy road, their delivery truck got stuck in the mud and they couldn't reach their destination. Although it was difficult, volunteers and villagers were willing to overcome these difficulties by working together.
Many female residents were fetching water from the well. However, the water level was too low, so they had to crawl into the well to get water, which was muddy. Still, they drank it right away. When basic needs couldn't be satisfied, life becomes a struggle for many Zimbabweans, like this bumpy and muddy road. Tzu Chi's delivery truck also sank into the mud and was stuck on the side of the road.
For the donation to the community people, but now they are coming here so that we are going to do our donation at the place that made.
This group of villagers walked 40 minutes from the original location as more than 1,000 households were waiting under a hot sun. Although they really need these supplies, they quietly formed an organized line and remained positive. Hundreds of smiling faces were showing their own interpretation of joy. Although the supplies were not high-end products, but instead things like rice, cooking oils, and soap, they felt rich spirit even they are impoverished.
Many people here are just like me. We haven't eaten anything today, but now I'm full of joy because of receiving these supplies and food. Now we could have a hearty Christmas dinner.
Tzu Chi volunteers taught us to be compassionate to others. So after we received the help, we should encourage others to help each other out to make each other's life better.
I hope all of you could spread the seed of great love to others. I'm already doing this myself.
The villagers were laughing, singing, and dancing after receiving the supplies. Although they still had to travel nearly 2 hours back to their homes, they kept their chin up despite these difficulties.
After the tsunami in South Asia in 2004, Tzu Chi has planted the seeds of love in Sri Lanka. 15 years have passed, this force of goodness is still there. On the 15th anniversary of the tsunami, Tzu Chi volunteers in Singapore traveled to Sri Lanka to assist local volunteers in organizing activities, including tree planting and distribution.
On the 15th anniversary of South Asia tsunami, 10 Tzu Chi volunteers from Singapore went to Sri Lanka to help organize events during the Christmas holidays. At the Tzu Chi office in Hambantota, the volunteers gathered and were busy preparing. There are only 11 certified volunteers in Sri Lanka, but everyone gathered to make posters and promote Tzu Chi concepts.
Comments and suggestions of our other brothers and sisters, and for the Sinhala translations, of course, all the articles text are done by Hambantota volunteers, but we also did some checking with the Colombo volunteers.
After the tsunami, still Tzu Chi here to helping people, helping poor people. So they also can join with us as a volunteer. So I think they can join us. We can recruit more volunteers and members.
Tzu Chi has been connected with Sri Lankan residents due to natural disasters, but Tzu Chi has spread the seeds of love. 15 years later, local volunteers look forward to expanding this kind of force.
The main effort we have to take to get back people to Tzu Chi. So we have to go house to house, door to door, and explain them what we do, invite them to come to Tzu Chi and help us.
Sri Lanka is like the teardrop of the India. With the efforts of this group of local volunteers, they hope the number of the volunteers will continue to grow.
Sichuan Tzu Chi volunteers held a winter distribution in Zhongjiang County, giving warmth and compassion to more than 2,500 seniors in 24 villages. Furthermore, there were nearly 260 local government officials join the event. Let's take a look.
Sichuan volunteers brought many blessings and love on their way to Zhongjiang County, sending warmth to 2,581 solitary seniors. More than 200 government officials also joined the event.
All the cadres and staffs in our government units participated throughout the event today, supporting these seniors with care and warmth. They formed into groups and volunteered out of their own willingness. It was not arranged by someone else.
Braving the cold wind, villagers carried their own bamboo basket and waited for the beginning of the distribution. In the crowd, some of the villagers suffered from illness.
他就是那么胖了，他就要出去，他就烫水。
哎呀，那个确实拖不得，要保重好身体哈。其他身体没啥子噻，都还好噻。
习惯呀。我那个是脑出血。
Half of my body is paralyzed due to brain hemorrhage, so now my hand is useless.
感恩。
给2包。
健康哈，全家幸福。好，祝福哈。好，
哎呀，你也太关心了。哎呀，
真是的，我因为。
What a surprise! I couldn't even dream of Tzu Chi volunteers coming here to care for us.
Volunteer also followed these villagers to their homes. One of the villagers was an alcoholic, and volunteers guided him back on the right track.
You can make your own decision to either spend this $1,040 on heal your feet or buy more alcohol for your home. He doesn't have a family and life alone. He lacked love, so he gave up on himself. As Tzu Chi volunteers, we should bring love and warmth to him and hope we could inspire them through love. And I could also inspire myself and others through love.
我们是自己的。
哎呀，那没有对吧？
The warmth and care can support these villagers to go through this cold winter and welcome the upcoming spring next year.
Chen Liangjing is just 25 years old and has worked and studied throughout his youth. He is well known to local elders for his optimistic attitude and also for his care for his 90-year-old grandfather. He won the 2018 Filial Piety Award and specializes in physical therapy classes for seniors.
On the refrigerator covered with A4 sheets of paper are the rehab reports for this elderly man who suffered an injury. They track his progress.
I don't think I have met a grandson who takes better care of his grandpa. He treats even better than we do. He teaches us how to care for grandpa.
An instructor at a vocational school, 25-year-old Chen Liangjing is a 2018 Filial Piety Award winner. His specialty is sports therapy. Although he looks very young, elders in his community appreciate his laugh and smile.
At home, I have my grandpa, my parents, and my sister. We have 5 people. When I was born, my grandmother passed away, and I remember living with my grandpa and parents. When I grew up, I remember that we didn't have much money. My parents were busy doing a little business which failed, and we owed debts to family members, banks, and other underground sources.
Since youth, his family's fortunes were quite poor, and even the place where they live is lent by neighbors. From junior high, he began working and studying at the same time. He even used his scholarship to support the family.
Since junior high, I needed to enter society and start doing wholesale business, such as selling steam buns and yogurt drinks to help my family with money. How much did I sell these steam buns for? Just a few cents. I could make about $20 for one evening. I would go to school in the morning and then come home at 6 or 7 in the evening, and then go out and sell at a movable store in the night market.
He helps his grandpa take his medication and do physical therapy. Now he specializes in taking care of elders, even helping those in his community. Aside from being a vocational school instructor, he also teaches classes at a gym and community center. He's quite funny and active, making all these elders listen to him even though he is young, sometimes 50 years younger than his students. Starting by caring for his grandpa, the happy-go-lucky Chen Liangjing began to have more interest in caring for elderly people. For young 20-somethings, this is really quite special.
Do I think that being filial requires deliberate actions? No, I don't. It can be just part of normal life. You just have to manage things a little better. You can't just say you are filial because you make money and bring it home and then leave. That's not real. I think you have to discount that sort of action.
Being filial is not just something he takes lightly, as it truly goes to his heart and inspired his actions every day, as he also takes this virtue to help many other elders living in Taiwan.
This mother has 2 boys. The 12-year-old is good at taking care of his 14-year-old elder brother who suffers from cerebral palsy. The love from the 12-year-old reduces a lot of burden for his mother, and is also the motivation for the family to go forward.
This is a light stance. He can't walk, so he must practice standing every day. Put your hand here and hold it tight. Zhen Hao, help your brother stand up. Give some effort. He has a serious level of cerebral palsy. He suffered from a brain injury, so his intellectual level is rather low. When he sees me, he wants to get down and wants my hug. Then he makes a sound like It means that he wants to get down and doesn't want to stand anymore. He's 14 years old, but in reality, he's less than 1 year old. He eats a lot, so he also has a lot of feces. I have to clean him 7 or 8 times a day with a diaper every time. And I had to spend around $100 every month to buy between 3,000 to 4,000 diapers. He uses a lot of diapers. During that time, I wasn't working and I was caring for them at home. Then Tzu Chi volunteers came to us and understood our situation. They said they could apply for emergency funds for me.
Minju touches us very much because she quit her job to take care of her eldest son.
I feel sorry for her because she is so tiny and skinny. When he was little, she had the strength to clean him and change his diaper. But as he grows bigger, she doesn't have enough strength to clean him.
I feel Tzu Chi volunteers are like my family. Sometimes I will feel sad or I have no one to talk to, but I can tell them everything.
She is an immigrant married to Taiwan from China, but I feel she is quite incredible as a mother and as a wife.
Your hand. Raise your butt higher. I don't have to say it. Whenever the young one sees me lifting him up, he will come over to help me because he knows his brother is heavy and I will get tired from lifting him up. He isn't like a younger brother, he's more like an elder brother or elder sister, a little mother who is very helpful.
Tzu Chi Japan chapter has held 3-year and blessing ceremonies over the course of 2 days. It was attended by Tzu Chi volunteers and community residents. Volunteer Liu Chenbing, who has undergone 8 surgeries in 2 years, performed the sign language song on stage. Take a look.
Performing the sign language song, Liu Chenbing is not able to use his limbs well. This is the result of his undergoing 8 surgeries.
2 years ago, I could not pass on the Dharma teachings using my hands or my body. 2 years later, I can pass on the Dharma teachings.
Meanwhile, a 7-year-old girl is performing the sutra adaptation on behalf of her father. Japan Tzu Chi volunteers held a year-end blessing ceremonies. During the 3 ceremonies, the audience is full. Among them, Chef Shao Liang-yun, who fell from the 4th floor, came to the ceremony sitting in a wheelchair.
I sincerely want to reciprocate your assistance. I will cook and treat you.
At the event, people appreciate the founding teacher of the Tzu Chi Academy School.
We have the opportunity to come in contact with Chi Chi and teach her Chi Chi. We feel very honored.
Tzu Chi Academy in Japan has inspired people and invited more people to attend volunteer activities. The volunteers have spread love in the community and extended their charity work overseas.
I think people in many countries learn about Tzu Chi before they got to know about Taiwan. I think we should appreciate Tzu Chi volunteers in different parts of the world.
An elderly man over the age of 70 lost hearing in his left ear, and recently an infection led him to lose hearing in his other ear. After visiting many hospitals, his condition did not improve, leading to fear of going deaf. After visiting Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital, his hearing is restored after eardrum surgery and repairing inner ear bones.
Mr. Xie, in his 70s, was deaf in his left ear since childhood. This led him to only use his right ear for many years. A few months ago, even his right ear became severely affected by hearing loss.
Wow,
the impact was so great, I couldn't hear what you say. In the end, my lover wrote to me instead of talking.
He later visited Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital ENT department, hoping for a chance to regain his hearing.
Although the nerves on his ears were slightly degraded, they were still basically fine, as it wasn't much of a problem.
After a number of hearing tests, a doctor found that the infected right ear had a defective eardrum, and he could recover hearing as long as his eardrum got repaired. But for the left ear, which has been deaf for many years, whether hearing can be retrieved still needed further inspection.
Why couldn't he hear sound? Because there is a gap between what he actually hears and his own auditory nerve ability. To find the reason, I have arranged a CT scan for him.
A CT scan revealed the problem with auditory bones in the left middle ear of the patient. The sound originally passed into the ear canal, vibrated the eardrum, impacting these small bones, then passed to the cochlea, which transmits a signal through the auditory nerve to the brain for interpretation. If the connection of these bones is not good, the sound cannot be transmitted. After the doctor confirmed the main problem, he performed reconstruction surgery to rearrange these bones to restore their conduction function.
The three hearing small bones are connected very closely, and they will pull each other when conducting. If any one of them is loosened, then it won't pull the hearing bone behind, affecting the effect of passing on such a sound. We just need to flip the eardrum up and reconnect the three hearing bones.
After the left ear surgery, Mr. Xie could hear voices that day, and he was quite grateful for the miraculous recovery of his hearing. Doctors said that as long as the auditory nerve is not severely damaged, it is possible to return to normal hearing through surgery.
Christian churches in Medan, Indonesia invite Sri Lanka refugees to celebrate the holiday together. Take a look and see you next time.